City Initiative today?
Hope you had a happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah. And what happened to today when we Thanksgiving, then we turn into a Black Friday?
Yes.
What does a Black Friday got to do with Thanksgiving?
Yeah, that seems a bit odd, eh? Thanksgiving, everybody be really in gratitude and really thankful and really smiling, and then Black Friday. What a silly idea. But that's the way it is. Can't stand that gratitude for too long.
Yeah.
Well. It is what it is. So,
for sure.
Did you have a great celebration yesterday, my friend?
Yeah, it was nice. Went to my brother, so it was good.
Oh, excellent. Very happy for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
So where do you want to go with the Happy City Initiative? Where would you like to go with that as far as organization and systems and procedures? It would be really nice to make this into a little bit better explanation of what the partnership might look like, what the sponsorship could look like, what it would mean.
Well, let's start at the top down.
I'm open to that. I would like to find some way to structure it. That would be great.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm happy to talk about that from the top down.
Good. What's the first one?
Okay, so at the top of the Happy City Initiative is the Chief Happiness Officer of the city, the CHO.
Like
Exactly. So the CHO is responsible for managing the team, managing the project, and reaching out and connecting with and staying connected with all of the key players in the city that are aligned with this initiative. So the job of the CHO is twofold. One is to manage the projects and the staff that implement them. And the second is to keep the focus of the city on this initiative, because this is the solution-oriented aspect of it. See, this is one of the big problems we have. We're always thinking about problems, which is the negative bias, normal way of looking at things. But that drags down our energy, drags down our creativity, drags down our productivity, drags down our health, drags down our relationships. So let us be the Chief Happiness Officer, whose job it is to help people let go of that old way of being and really put out the small efforts that are required to maintain and sustain the great new way of being. So, I thought I knew me until I found the new me. So that's the Chief Happiness Officer's second job, is to help everybody discover the new me. So that's the ticket. Looks like everybody's out shopping today.
They are.
Yeah, and they could shop their little hearts out for all I care. They can feel free.
Feel free.
Yeah.
So that would be the first one in line. What would be the second one in line?
Okay, so underneath the Chief Happiness Officer, then you will have a small staff. And that staff will be defined largely by the scope of the project in each city. And as the scope increases, the staff will increase. But things that you will be looking for is one that manages and prioritizes and presents projects. So the Happy Project Manager, HPM. Another one will be the staff support and idea bank manager. So an idea bank is a great way to solve problems because everybody has all kinds of ideas, but they never bring them to the right place at the right time. So an idea without the right place and the right time is not a good idea. So people talk about it in their living rooms, in the bars, and if we only did this, if we only did that. Well, the idea bank is designed to collect all those ideas, sort them, and keep track of them so that when a problem comes up, they can go, here were the ideas that were proposed. Let's implement some of them. And so you actually start collecting ideas from all kinds of sources, from people you know, from things that are sent in, from things you read in the news, from things you see on TV, from things you read about. And every place you can find ideas, you document and collect them, but they are sorted and managed in a way that brings them to the fore at the right place and the right time so they can actually be implemented. And this is a huge database of goodness.
So that database of goodness is where because they're accumulating all these ideas that the city can actually eventually use. What do you think it would take does that person get paid?
Yeah, that person gets paid, of course. You have a small paid staff, right? Starting with the CHO and then the small staff that's around.
And so then that trickles down into groups then. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. But it's not ever envisioned to be a really big staff because we're not really the doers, we're the managers, the leaders. So it's really the normal staff's job to continue to do these, but what we support is getting it moving in a really great direction. Yeah. Because direction makes all the difference. Are we going backwards or are we going forwards?
So getting it in that direction brings clarity to what can be implemented in the city for them to see the success from that Happy City initiative. So the success of that would look, they would have certain milestones that they would have to be targeted so they can see the results that are happening.
Exactly. So, we would develop a reporting mechanism with the implementing agency for each project and the chief happiness officer would be, just popping around and seeing everything that's going on and keeping an eye on things, with keeping a smile on things.
Yeah, that has to happen a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly. So the CHO doesn't keep an eye on things; he keeps a smile on things.
Well, that's a unique one. That would be good.
Yeah. That just popped into my head. In fact, another bit of creativity on the way.
Well, that would make a difference.
What a difference it will make. Absolutely. So then we want to have somebody else who's into research, because there's always good ideas popping up all over the place. There's always good ideas. So they would be both research and reporting. So they would be gathering data from what we're doing, what's working and not working. And they would be researching what other people are doing that's working and not working. And they will make sure that we have a continuous feed of continuous improvement. Because continuous improvement is the byword of happiness.
So so how would they that's back to the mayor of that city. This is what's happening in this sector called Happy City Initiative. So that would be like they would be able to see progress.
So it would turn up. You'll be able to see it in action. But still, you want to have documented results. So that's the purpose of this one staff member that does research and reporting, is to document all the things that are going on and go there. But the chief happiness officer needs to be an integral part of the city's management structure. So the chief happiness officer will be attending major meetings all over the place. Whether they be at the political level or at the staff level, in order to really make a difference, in order to facilitate higher energy and higher creativity and productivity, not to mention health and wellness.
Yeah. So what would it take, like a staff that size, I'm just going to say, what would it take for them to implement that in a city of 5,000?
So in a small city of 5,000, which might actually be a town,
right,
you might actually combine a couple of jobs. So you might have the chief happiness officer who also looks after the office.
Okay.
And you might have one other person who looks after both projects and reporting and research.
Got it.
So you might not need to have as many people, and you would sort of flush that out as you did your work around the city and as you stood it up.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. So it won't look exactly the same everywhere, because not everywhere runs exactly the same. Not everyone's needs are exactly the same. Not everyone's aims are exactly the same. So we're gonna, we'll work around a framework that we adapt and adopt for each organization that we interact with.
Very cool. So that's the power in that. So, okay.
Yeah.
So there we go. That goes off a structure, and then now we just need to fill that structure, basically.
Yes, exactly. And then, in a bigger city where you have more of that, you might need 2 or 3 project staff. You might need 2 or 3 research and reporting staff. You may need more than 1 office management person. So there will also need to be some clerical support and publication. Like you need to do publicity, marketing, and that kind of stuff. So there will also be a person or an office of marketing, publicity, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, you have a core group of 4 or 5, probably 1 clerical staff as well. And then this will support the sustainability of the whole initiative.
Okay. So you're looking at pretty big salaries too. Now, when does, and I'm sure it depends on it depends on what level we get involved in it. Do we do all the setup?
Yeah. So, the way I would see it working is that we pop into some place for about 3 months. So we spend a couple of weeks getting to know the ground, to talk to everybody, to brief everybody, to get a feel for how the city works, scope out potential partners, and then probably a week to brainstorm all of that and say, okay, here's what we think could happen here. And then a couple of weeks to refine that and to put it in the approval process. Then depending on how long the approval process takes, then they need to figure out, do we need to go away and come back, or can we stay? And depends on the local approval process. Then we start implementation. So implementation, once we have the framework all documented, it'll go a little bit faster, and that's what we're in the process of doing now. But we would start having meetings of all of the stakeholders. And then we would start working with individual stakeholders on how do I implement, how do I implement, how do I implement, how do I implement. And we would help them to develop some kind of plan. And then we would do initial reporting as we were doing that. And so then once that started implementing, that would be kind of in the second month. And then we would work in the third month to do some transition to steady state. So, we'd be looking for local people to take over from us. We'd be looking for, and we'd be mentoring them for that month. We'd start looking for them early, but then we'd have them in position and getting into position fully during that third month. Then there would be, making sure that the seasonal program, as the seasons shift, how is that going to be implemented? So we make sure that they have the documentation for that. We make sure that they have the publicity campaigns for that. So we help them out with all of that. And then as they go down the road, we would maybe not chop everything off at the end of the third month, but maybe leave one or two people and then have them wean off depending on what the local need is, and maybe go away for a week, come back for a couple of days, and sort of wean ourselves off as we transition to the next city.
So we'd actually do the hiring of the staff members, and then we'd actually move on from there. We'd have to have our core group has to really understand all the politics that's going on in that particular city.
So really, that would be the Chief Happiness Officer's mandate. The team wouldn't really need to do that because they work at the project level and the staff level.
Okay, so that's the first. But when we got that first 3 months, we're the ones that are representing ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's when the first month we really need to be sharp and suss out the political games that are going on and the money behind the scenes, how it works, and we need to have access and we need to be sharp about how we operate in order to get it right the first time. So, integrity is an important part of happiness. Gandhi said, when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony, then you have happiness.
Yeah, so implementing that part of it right there is going to be a real possibility that a lot of stuff is going on at that point, because you're not only finding a chief happiness officer to take your place as you are implementing the city initiative. Whoa. So what would, and money's come from anywhere. So
the kind of places I see money
could be from
so the places I see money coming from are government, could be all different levels, then business, and then like not-for-profits, and just citizens. Like, you can contribute to this initiative. You can donate to it. You can buy our T-shirts and ball caps. So we can have some sales as well of minor things.
Right. Yeah. Cool. And but our big initiative could come from a big person, a big donor as well.
Exactly. That could easily happen. Yes. Are you still there? I'm not hearing you.
We don't have us. We don't get to make costs. The development costs could be on us going into the cities. Are you there?
The initial development cost, yes.
The initial development costs.
Yeah. Although we would expect if they were going to invite us in, they should pay for our travel and our per diem. Because they will know already from our previous work what the benefit for them will be.
Well, that stuff needs to be documented.
Not us.
What's that?
It's not us trying to sell it to them.
Right. That's the point. And right. So good. But we need good documentation to prove ourselves. So yes, I realize after the first one, you've got one started in Ottawa, so this would be the next one. That documentation, even in a short little 10-minute spew, can be done, sent over the internet. They view it. They know when we come into that area. We implement see it in their mind's eye to come in and be able to orchestrate it. Now that has to be done probably rather shortly, or go through the process right as we do any one of them. In the beginning, that's more on us to make that happen.
That does make sense. You're coming through very broken. I'm showing you at poor internet signal. Welcome, Luke and Chris. Good to see you here.
I like that.
Okay, standing by for Robert to come back. We are talking about the Happy City Initiative, how it would be structured and how it would operate. And we are very keen on the Happy City because the places that have implemented this already are getting tremendous benefits, and we want those benefits to be passed on to everybody.
I like that, Stephen. That makes so the donation would still go in just the Happy City Initiative, not for profit.
That's right. We have a not-for-profit.
Right now, okay. And because
you're still very broken and showing poor internet signal. Okay, so with the Happy City Initiative, if you are interested in knowing more about it, then there's a couple of websites you can go to. One is happyottawa.ca. That's happyottawa.ca. The other is Happy City Bristol, Bristol. If you go there, they have they have the best documented site that I'm aware of on happy cities. But if you just Google Happy City, you will see that there are several cities here in North America that are working on a similar initiative. So this is all good news. There's more and more people around working on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Am I coming through better?
Yes.
Okay. Then that's a real strong indication, so when we bring someone like, I'll talk to the mayor again here of this small town, and those we can start bringing up, demonstrating it right here. I guess that's what we're saying. You've got a lot of it already structured, so it almost needs to be in a binder, but on the internet binder in a folder that we can not only have videos, but the process that it takes to do it. And you just outlined it today. So I guess what I should do is, this is a great one to transcribe and put it in a booklet format.
That is a very good idea. Yep.
Okay. All right. So anything else we could bring up on this one today?
Well, the marketing and publicity piece is very important. It's very important to engage the community, because this is not something that happens at the political level. It's not something that happens at the staff level. It's not something that happens in one or two businesses. It's something that has to trickle down and feed across the entire community. And so what we want is a really strong marketing program where we connect with the local media, where we connect with local business leaders, and we really make the pitch for what they can get from this. And the benefits are tremendous in health and wellness, social cohesion, and business success. So those are the three main areas that people are really interested in, and those are the three areas where it really focuses.
Mm-hmm.
So this is an important part of the early engagement, is to do this marketing piece and to get everybody on board.
So go after the local businesses, find out which ones will just take the town and do a telemarketing spree, if you would, on the Happy City initiative. Find out who would be the supporters, find out who would be the supporters to actually bring out that would be on your side.
Yeah.
They're not, and hit them hard with a lot of this is what kind of marketing you'll get. This is what
would be an information campaign more than anything else, because people don't know. They don't know what happiness is, and it'll understand the depth of its power.
Yeah, I'm sure that's true.
So it's really just an information campaign rather than a true marketing campaign. So as we go down this road, we will develop a package that really gives this out, but we will really want the media to help us out with this. So, we would do some interviews with the local print news, radio news, TV news, internet news. And we would really give them the opportunity to ask us questions and to ask us how it might work in their local market. And that would really start to generate a conversation. And as that generates the conversation, then people get engaged. So that's really what we want, is people to get engaged.
Dude, you got something here. It's like a manual that has to be put together. because it's like if you ever heard of a business plan, you have the
Yeah.
one sheet.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. This is basically
That's
a
right.
one sheet. You got me. Okay. Because really, that right there is you just made it bigger than all the rest. Made it bigger than anyone could make it, because you enrolled the city, and you enrolled the local people, you enrolled the businesses, which will trickle down to the employees.
Yeah, which will trickle home to the families. We'll get the schools on
and
board.
Then the newspapers will pick it. Yeah. Well, I don't know, that's the toughest one, I think, is getting schools on board. And it could be the easiest one, but I just think it's just a whole political thing there.
Could be. Don't know.
Yeah.
My belief is that it can be done, and it can be done quickly and easily.
There is a swiftness to it, the way you're thinking. There is a swiftness, because you can go to the local newspapers, and they want
exactly
stories. Now they're, and what do they want? Blood and guts all the time. Most of
the time they do. But when a wave of happiness is about to hit the town, they should be interested.
Well, yeah, it'd be different as long as and if they can pick up structure, they and different points that they can show what's going on. Then you don't want to go to them too soon. You sure don't want to go to them too late. Because if you go too soon, they just think it's a piece of shit.
Exactly.
But,
yeah.
There's a balance in knowing when to go to them and where it actually benefits and boosts the whole city.
Yes.
And that's a judgment call. It's like the army going out to the
exactly. But the whole thing is, we don't approach them before we're there.
That's crucial, because then they'll be all
exactly. That's when they go, wow, what a load of crap. Right? But if we're there that they can ask the questions to, then we're in a good shape.
Sometimes it could be a month there.
Yeah, exactly.
Up to 3 weeks. Because
we give them a framework to promote it, so they can always have an interesting story, because that's what they want, right? They want stories. Yeah, exactly. So this is one running storyline in the community.
What do we need to kick it off as a number? 100? Do we need 100 grand? 50,000?
To kick it off.
To really set ourselves up to being extremely successful.
So I'm sure 100K would do it.
And what would that person, if they put up that, what are they looking for? And what's a reasonable return that they could see for themselves? Just
so you mean like me and the team?
Yeah. What would be the return on the investment if somebody put it up?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, so there is a lot of work going on here in Canada. I don't know if it's going on in the US on what's called social impact. And there's like specific investors who are interested in social impact. There's a lot of measurement criteria on how do you measure social impact, and how do you calculate it along with the financial bottom line. There are several different organizations that are deeply involved in this, and there are different methodologies. So I suspect that it's also happening in the U.S. and that there are people who are very aware of this. I'm studying it now. So what we can do is use some of those methodologies in order to measure the impact of what we do and to show people that there is not only a financial ROI, but a social impact ROI as well. SROI, as it's often called.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another part of the person who does the research and reporting.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So for people that invest in this, like if they're a business, then what we would do is we would offer them some quid pro quo. We would go and do some fun shops there. We would offer them some books. We would offer them some training. We would offer them some presence where we could do events there that would help them to raise their level. And they would get their return in the increase in energy inside the company, which increases the connectivity, increases the creativity, increases the productivity.
Mm-hmm.
So they get this innate benefit from supporting us that is going to further their business success.
So what would they be calling it now? They'd be calling it market opportunity, wouldn't it?
Sorry, what did you say?
They would be calling it a marketing opportunity for themselves, because the opportunity, even though it's a Happy City initiative, their participants, we go in and help their organization, the 200 or 300 people factory, and we're increasing the productivity, and they get the social impact from that.
Yeah, they get internally to their company social impact, and we can help them to transform their business to a happiness business model, which will really rocket their success. People don't understand the value of thinking just a little bit further than the money. They don't understand the impact it can have on the money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well,
so our job is to help them understand the difference between living from the outside in and the inside out.
Oh, we got 6 billion people on this planet. And they're all looking from the outside in. So what? There's such a small handful that think.
I know, we got some work to do. That's good news.
God. I mean, but you're constantly bombarded with that every day.
And that's okay.
Well,
see, what people don't understand is the link between stress and pain. They don't understand that the opposite of happiness is pain. When we start to explain this, then they're going to start to wake up, because nobody wants pain.
It's happening in a lot of different ways right now, too. It really, really is. And it'll take what you're describing. Actually, what you're describing is something that I read out of a book that said between 2012 and 2027, that period of time will be the most significant in transition from people viewing themselves from the outer world and then actually viewing themselves from their inner world and why they came
very
here.
cool. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it is. Every day we get on here is what we talk about. It's mostly the inner. It's the
Yeah.
inner job. It's anything that you do on inside. It's not on the outside that we think it is. We were brought up
living
that
inside
way.
out instead of outside in.
A lot of truth to that, but here we are. So I guess we get. Let's. I'm going to turn this off right now because I think we're good on the description of what we want for the Inner City Initiative.
Is it both? It's both. Hello, Richard. Yes, you must do some living from the outside in. Yes. The question is, where is the focus? And that's really the point. Do you focus on what's outside of you to make you happy? Or do you focus on your inside to make you happy and improve what's on the outside? Because when we focus on the outside to make us happy, we're usually at some level of destruction on the inside. And what we want is to be growing on the inside, so we're creating on the outside. Because our outer world is a mirror of our inner world. And if we're all cluttered up with stress and conflict inside, then we're cluttered up with stress and conflict on the outside. And that then becomes stress, which becomes disease, which becomes pain. And we don't want that. We want happy health. Happy health is productive.
Very good. I'm going to turn the recording off on this. Are you good?
Yeah, I'm happy that you turned the recording.
We did.
There you are. Oh my goodness. Got this marvelous book, Happiness Works. Get yours here. Inspirational Book of the Year and a textbook for letting go of all of your troubles, connecting with the beautiful flow of purposeful living and being happy forevermore. You can get that on my website. There's a link in the chat box, and that will help you solve any troubles that come your way. Okay.